Hello, welcome to the second part of our interview with international master and soon-to-be chess boxer Lawrence Trent. Enjoy.
I think everybody involved in the sport has been expecting, and I have to say I only met Iepe once. Yeah. But I mean, obviously he was a big driving force behind the sport, and it always seems to be on the cusp of, outgrowing the sort of novelty item on the news and becoming a genuine sport that people watch for the sport and kind of exploding onto the world scene. It feels like your event could do more for that than anything else that's gone before. So we're incredibly excited about seeing how that goes. And we are. Oh, well, the other thing I wanted to ask you is, yes, Magnus Carlsen. There's rumors that he might be commentating. Is that been confirmed?
Not confirmed yet, but the last time I spoke to Magnus, and I will speak to him after the Fischer Random World Championships, he said if there's no clash, he's been asked by Ludwig, he's good friends with him. We are good friends. He likes LA. There's absolutely no reason, as long as there's no major clash. He said he'd be more than prepared, more than happy. There might even be some collaboration opportunity. Not responsibilities, let's say, but I don't want to reveal names at this point, but he might be asked to do it by other parties as well. So I hope Magnus is going to be there. It would be absolutely amazing to get Magnus commentating on this event.
Because it's interesting, the Norwegian connection, because it's obviously chess, obviously Magnus has been a big part of chess exploding in Norway. And it seems to me that is one of the countries where it's really taken off, and a lot of that is down to him.
You mean chess or chess boxing?
Chess boxing. Well, chess and chess boxing. Okay. Well, I guess primarily chess, but off the back of that, chess boxing, because we've got a couple of fighters who are fighting for a Norwegian mainstream TV channel.
Oh, right. Okay.
And when they contacted us, they were explaining about Magnus, about how chess is exploding and how everybody wants chess content, and that's why they approached us. So we've got a couple of guys. In fact, one of them is a sporting celebrity from Norway. He's an Olympic gold medal holder. He won a gold medal at the Beijing Olympics this year. His name is Birk Ruud. He's a freestyle skier. And the idea is that they're going to film not just the show, but also the build-up. They're going to be training together and put together like a package that's going to be aired on Norwegian TV in 2023. So it feels like Norway could be the country to pivot to if we want to expand the sport. What do you think about that?
Very possibly. I mean, you've got the chess element already there, as you said, because of Magnus. I was just in Oslo literally last week. I was doing some commentary for the champions, the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour. I was out there doing some filming, and chess is, it's unbelievable. Look, to put things into perspective, right? I got noticed out in Oslo, right? I was literally just in the street, and sorry, it wasn't the street. I was in, a big tradition in Oslo is to go to the sauna.
Yes.
So they have these fantastic saunas by the harbor, and I was in the sauna, and I got noticed, and he said, "Oh, you're that chess guy, aren't you? You're the commentator." It's massive out there. When you go out with Magnus in Oslo, it's another experience, by the way. I've been out with Magnus now many, many times in Oslo on nights out. He does love a night out, believe it or not. And let's just say it's a very, very interesting experience because everybody loves him. He's a national icon. As for the boxing side, I don't know. As you said, there's some interest brewing, and it seems logical that the next kind of big explosion would be there. Nordic guys are big guys. They're useful. Pretty much everybody now knows about chess or plays chess or is learning chess. So there could definitely be a future, but not just there. The sport is in its infancy. And if this event goes well, and if this gets millions upon millions upon millions of views, I'm not talking about simultaneously during the event. I'm talking about sort of, after the event when it's on YouTube and whatnot, there's going to be a real opportunity there. And there's absolutely no reason why, in my opinion, this sport can't go far, because you manage to access, you kind of find a sweet spot actually in terms of your target audience, because you got guys who love boxing, and we know how big boxing is at the moment, and boxing is experiencing incredible growth. So you've got the guys who love boxing, and then you've got the guys who have got their favorite stars, you know, whatever, YouTube. So you've got those guys. So you're accessing a whole different demographic. And then you're also accessing, you know, guys who are interested in intellectual pursuits as well. And as long as you manage to, you know, it's important, you know, when you're, like when I commentated, like when Simon commentated or whatnot, you have to keep the level of commentary to a level that's digestible for your average Joe in the crowd, keep the energy up. Why can't this become a legitimate sport? Why? I mean, it's a legitimate sport, but you know what I mean? But why can't this become a commercially legitimate sport? You can sell out stadiums, you can do all kinds of commercial stuff with companies. When Iepe was still here, I was discussing all kinds of plans with him. And, you know, I have to say this. I was very close with Iepe, even though I didn't know him that well. Let's say, how can I say this? Even though I only knew him a very short amount of time in my life, right? Maybe it was only even a couple of years actually that I knew him, that I actually had met with him, right? He really was literally my best friend here. And I got incredibly close, and his death massively affected me. I've, you know, more than even close family members. It was really a shock to me. And I feel as though somehow, in some weird way, I want to, his legacy isn't over. I want to continue, you know, holding the flag for him, pushing what, you know, and pushing the sport further, making his dreams, you know, of what the potential of the sport become a reality. He had very, very high hopes. He did an incredible amount of work, groundwork. He put in everything. He put in his whole life, his whole savings. He, you know, he sacrificed, you know, everything to try and just get the groundwork done. And I feel as though now, you know, if the interest really starts to pile up, that the right thing is to see how we can further and develop this sport. Because it's a beautiful combination. It's a beautiful hybrid. And people who say, oh, this sport's so stupid, you see it all the time in comments, oh, it's such a stupid sport. You've got absolutely no idea. You've got just clueless people. It's combining two of the most technically tough, competitive sports that exist into one beautiful hybrid. So I would absolutely love, you know, I'm not really one for, you know, God and after, you know, but really hope Iepe is watching this wherever he is now with a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
And I'll do him proud.
Like I said, I only met Iepe once, and and sort of I grew up on obviously the UK side of chess boxing, and I know that obviously Tim and Iepe had that sort of competitive edge between them, and in by hook, or is it by rook or left hook? I mean, that really comes across. But I think I know what you mean. I think Iepe was a romantic, wasn't he? Like everything was just so. And I don't mean that in a sort of a man lands a woman way. I mean the whole idea of him and his commitment to the sport and his personality was just so romantic, and it just drew people on. He was an artist. Yeah, exactly.
Literally an artist, right? He was an artist and a performer. He wasn't a businessman. No. I think we can all say that with, you know, clearly, you know, that wasn't his strong suit. But he was an artist, and he was a dreamer, and he was a bon vivant, and he lived a full life. That's for sure, even though he died way too prematurely.
Yeah.
You know.
And he's,
So,
I don't know how much you know about sort of the state of world chess boxing, but without going into detail, I can tell you that the hole he's left is vast. You know.
Yeah. I felt it even locally here with him going. The club then had to change hands. There's now, you know, a different kind of board, and, you know, minor disagreements here, there, and everywhere. And it's not quite the gel isn't there somehow, and the community spirit, I feel, has left slight, you know, like you know, it's impossible to fill in his boots, fill in his shoes, because he was such a character. And he had such a passion for this sport, right? It was just an unwavering, unrelenting passion for making this work. How can you replace that? You can't, right? It was his baby. He fought for the first time, I think, when I did the commentary for the fight in Amsterdam 20 years earlier. He was the first ever fight in the heart of Amsterdam. I forget the name of the club now, even though I was there.
Oh, really? I didn't realize you saw the first ever chess boxing.
No, I didn't. I'm saying that Iepe was the first guy to ever chess box, the ever first classified chess boxing fight in the I'll have to look up the name of the club, classic club in Amsterdam. So, you know, I do feel like there's a bit of a hole that he's left, and I think it's going to take an almighty effort from various parties within the community to build it up again. I would love that. I would love great cooperation across the board between different clubs, different federations, different countries, because Iepe was that glue. I mean, he really, you know, if you look at what he did in Iran and India, and, you know, he was Turkey, it was incredible. So let's see. Let's see what the future holds in that aspect.
We're almost out of time, but I've just got a couple more questions for you. One, it just occurred to me, since you mentioned, I think it was a reference to Simon Williams, we're talking about commentary.
Yes.
And that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, we've kind of hoped that you might, you know, dip your toe into the chess boxing world for some time. Is there anybody, you know, assuming this goes well, that you might be, you know, perhaps grace the ring again for? Do you think?
Great question. Would I grace the ring again for somebody else? Well, let me put it like this. I definitely don't want to fight Simon. Right? Okay. Simon is a big guy who's boxed before, who's grown up on the, you know, having a few stuffles in the street. He's a hard bastard. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I just did.
So you can swear, mate. It's fine.
He's huge. He is actually losing weight because I think he was a bit too big, so he's getting into shape. But
yeah, but I think he if he got down his fighting weight, he would be probably still too heavy for you, but he wouldn't be that far off. Do you see what I mean?
No, I would have to put some weight back on, which I don't ideally want to do, because I think if I fought him at 85 and he's, you know, he's going to be 105 something. I mean, it's just too much. I don't want to fight Simon. Plus, he's a mate, and I like him. Who would I fight? I'd like to fight. Well, I mean, look, I'd be open to fighting, you know, a few of the top guys, but I'm not sure they'd want to fight me. So somebody like Hikaru would be absolutely down to fight.
So your weight, you're talking about someone like Carl Ouch, maybe?
Now, I know Carl. I've been speaking to Carl because I've been getting tips from Carl.
Okay,
Now, Carl, Carl is extremely seasoned. He'd be an extremely tough proposition for me. He's been fighting for 10 years. Again, I don't think I'm at a stage where I would want to fight somebody with so many fights under his belt.
No.
So I would rather have somebody relatively new still. But, you know, there are, I mean, you can throw some other names at me, but I'm looking at some of the top chess guys, but of course they haven't really trained boxing. But if there is somebody that is trained, I'm trying not to think too far in the future, because I want to see how this fight goes. I might get chinned look, the guy might chin me. I might get knocked out in 30 seconds, right? And then it's all for what? It's like, I'll feel gutted. So I don't know how I'm going to feel. Maybe it's just going to take too much. Maybe I won't want to fight again. I don't know. Maybe I'll get concussed. Maybe I'll get, my nose broken. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that could happen that might want to dissuade me from fighting again. But I'm open to it, of course. I am old though, right? Like, I'm also like, people are like, you're not the first guy. You're like, oh,
well, we had Terry Marsh, who's ex-pro boxer, fight for us at 59 years old, and we've actually had a couple of guys in their 60s fight for us. So
no, I know.
It's not about age. It's not about age. It's about being matched with an appropriate opponent.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that I do understand. I can definitely get behind. The opponent is important. So I don't want to go in there completely outmatched, or I'm just going to get blown out. In the chess boxing fights that I have seen, there are only, I think, one or two examples where I've seen the referee actually stop it in the boxing side because they were just getting more. There was an event in France, wasn't there? Just a few weeks ago, and one of the guys was just way too good. Do you remember the fight I mean?
So I watched the Paris event was a couple of weeks ago and Carl obviously won that headline bout. I mean, what an entertainer! That he's just
great.
So...
He shouldn't have won, of course, because he was getting blasted.
I was, because obviously Carl's my friend as well. I was standing up, shouting at the TV, telling the ref to stop the fight because I was worried that he was going to get hurt. If I'm being honest.
I thought he was getting hurt in the fight. I mean, he was the other guy. Wow. I mean, and from what I understand as well, the other guy was just before the fight, insane training. Like you could tell as well, his fitness levels were good. He was technically excellent. And Carl was actually outmatched. I didn't expect that. And he just managed to swindle him on the chess side to come through. But there was one fight in that event, which, do you remember the one I mean, where the guy...
I don't know if I
do. Basically, what the point I'm trying to make is there are sometimes, very rarely though, where the ref actually has to step in the boxing and just stop the fight. Just stop the fight. So I don't think we're going to get that in this particular fight because Aman, as I said, he's 10 years younger, he's taller, he's theoretically should be fitter. So I don't know, but we'll see.
We'll see. And I take it Ludwig's got no appetite for fighting because he looks like a young, fit guy who can play chess. I mean, I thought he'd be, in line.
I'll be honest with you. I've barely spoken to him. I've had a couple of Twitter exchanges with him. But I don't know why he got the motivation to do this fight. We know about him loving chess and his, he hopped into the chess world. I don't know his connection to the boxing world. Maybe he's had some inspiration from the other YouTube friends that he has, like Logan.
Well, there's a lot of YouTube fights now, isn't there? Boxing and MMA and all that stuff.
Well, he must be. He's in that circle of guys with Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and all of these top tier YouTube guys. Yeah. Maybe he's always loved boxing. I don't know if he ever wants to get in the ring. He's a super young. What is he, like 25 or something like that? He's incredible.
Well, he looks like roughly. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So he could definitely do it. He's extremely successful. He's made retirement money. I mean, he can retire tomorrow. It'll be fine. So if that's something he wanted to do, that would be great. I don't know, and I still actually don't know the reason why this event is going ahead. I got
Lawrence. Do you need a reason to do chess boxing? I mean, surely it's a reason in itself, mate.
No, what I'm saying is why he decided to make this event happen because.
Actually, it's probably not dissimilar to why I got involved because I wanted to, years ago, I worked for a charity. I wanted to make some money for the charity. And my friend said, well, my co-trustee said, let's do a white collar boxing event to raise money. I was like, forget that. I've heard of this new thing called chess boxing. And so we did an event where we fought, me and this trustee, and we did it in partnership with Tim. to raise money for charity because we thought it was more compelling as a spectacle than boxing or and combat sports. So it sounds to me like he's basically taken the same leap, and it's obviously working. I mean, it's obviously garnering a lot of attention. So
it is. I don't want to say concern. Like, I don't know how hard a lot of these guys are training for this fight, right? The other guys on the card, even though I'm the main event, the undercard, I don't know how hard how much they're taking it seriously. Basically, I just don't know at this stage. I haven't seen that much content out there of people down the gym. I know some of them are working at the moment and doing it. I think the general level of the boxing is going to be pretty poor, if I had to guess, across the board, but I don't know. Because again, all of these guys fighting have never boxed, pretty much. As far as I know, all of the guys fighting.
It does seem to be. I guess they're waiting until a few weeks before to kind of release a lot of the information and promo material, which makes total sense. So there seems to be a lot of, not just us as the chessbox community, but also there's a lot of people making YouTube videos about the show, and they don't really have any information. They're just everyone's kind of like second guessing, which is, I guess, in a way, it's good. It creates a bit of a buzz around it and a bit of mystery around it, I guess.
It does to a certain extent, but also I thought we would have a bit more of a, we're 6 weeks out, that we would have a bit more of a sort of expose some content already. But these guys are professionals. They're professional YouTube people. They know how to organize it all. So I'm just following their lead, and we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
So Lawrence, question I ask most people on the podcast is, what's your favorite chocolate bar?
I can't remember what chocolate is, to be honest. I mean, honestly, I'll come on to that, but seriously, I'm so bored of chicken and broccoli. It's insane.
Really?
Chicken and avocado. Well, I mean,
you sound like do you know Felix Lee, one of our fighters?
No, I don't.
Anyway, one of our fighters, he's a professional. Well, he's not a professional sportsman. Sorry, he's amateur, but he plays kabaddi for England.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
I know it. I used to watch it on Trans World Sport.
Exactly the same thing. In fact, the BBC covered it over the Christmas last year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That must be good for boxing, actually.
Sorry?
To learn kabaddi must be good for boxing.
Yeah, for your movement. Yeah. It's all
just like, because in training, you can that exercise where you're trying to touch a shoulder or touch a knee, right?
It's almost the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's probably partly why he's so good, but he all he eats is chicken and broccoli. But he doesn't complain. He really likes it.
I mean, I also like it, but it's like, what I'd do?
Yeah.
I'd kill for a chocolate bar.
Okay, well, maybe after the fight we'll have we'll interview you again, and you'll have had a few chocolate bars, and
I'll be like that. I'll come in like that.
After the fight,
I promise you this. I'm gonna drink myself, as long as I'm not too injured and I'm on either. Because let's be honest, right? The guy I'm fighting, he's a nice guy. I know him, I don't know him super well. I consider him a nice dude, somebody I've known for a while. We've commentated together, it's like, I don't want to hurt, I don't want to kill the guy, right? I've got nothing against him. So as long as we're both cool and we go out and we can party in LA, right? So the idea is to go and party in LA after the night of the fight or after or whenever. I'm going to drink. I'm going to have a drink.
So you've stopped drinking now until the
stop drinking.
Yeah, nice.
I haven't.
I bet you feel good for it though, right?
Yeah, I haven't had a chocolate bar or a drink in weeks.
To do that is great. To know that you can do that. Stop drinking, stop eating shit food, get fit, train is a great feeling. But you kind of need the fear. You need that thing at the end that you got to step into a ring with somebody. That fear drives you forward and allows you to make those changes in your life. But it's nice.
It does, and it does, and I'm going to be revealing as well. I've got at least one personal sponsor for this fight. I've got an obligation to them. I'm not going to LA to just have a random fight for my ego. Like, I want to, it's like there's a lot that could come out of this fight if I win, because not necessarily as for my career, let's say, in this sport, but as I said earlier, I believe in the future of the sport, and I believe that I've got enough sort of connections between both worlds now where maybe I can help. I don't know how exactly. I've got to formulate something, but I'm taking this deadly, deadly, deadly seriously. So,
yeah,
as
you should.
Yeah.
So, Lawrence, where can we find you if we want to tweet at you, if we want to support you? What's the best?
So Twitter is my most active account. It's at Lawrence Trent IM. So my name with IM at the end. My Instagram also, I'm trying to improve because I'm an Instagram fish. So my Instagram is lawrence.trent, nothing else. So you can follow me both on there. And
what about the show? Where can we watch the show online?
Well, the show, I'll have greater links because I don't know is the honest answer. Obviously, if you follow Ludwig's YouTube, you can't go wrong because it'll be there. I guess Mogul Moves also has a channel themselves, but I don't exactly know. So for the moment, I would look for Ludwig. Just type in YouTube Ludwig. He's got 3.63 million subscribers, so you can't really go wrong with who he is.
And it's on the 11th of December, is that right?
11th of December. I don't know the exact time. It will be LA time now. Hopefully, what I would love is to have a late fight because I'm the late card, so that guys in Europe can watch it. I think time difference is going to be. Is it like
surely it should be early?
10 hours?
Surely it should be early, shouldn't it? Because lunchtime is our evening.
Or around lunchtime, but I
guess it could
imagine
go the other way. I guess we could wake up early and watch it. Yeah,
exactly. Like it's 3:30 in the morning now.
I will be watching it, mate. Whatever time it's on, I will definitely be watching it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll talk to Ludwig about that as well because I don't know, but
yeah, and we'll all be cheering you on. And
appreciate it.
It's a standing invitation. If you're ever in London around one of our events, you're very welcome to come. We'll comp you some tickets.
Would love
great
that.
To see you.
It would be great to come. I mean, if this fight wasn't on the 11th, I would have come to the event on the 10th. I'd absolutely love to come. But yeah, next year for sure. I love it. I love a fight night, and I know people around, and would love to support the cause.
Yeah, so if you want to come to our show, we've only got 20 or 30 tickets left. Chessboxingnation.com, that's the 10th of December. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like I said, it's exploding. We've got a couple of surprise commentators some names that you'll know, which we haven't announced.
Oh, really? Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, who we're chatting to at the moment.
Okay.
But more importantly, we've got an Olympic gold medalist fighting, and we've got a female
boxing.
Sorry,
boxing Olympic.
No, he's a freestyle skier, Birk Ruud.
Oh, okay.
The guy from Norway. Yeah. So.
Oh, the guy from Norway. He's fighting. Okay.
Yeah. So he's not gold medalist in boxing.
Right. Okay.
Although the guy who's fighting him was a TV personality, Nikolai, and I caught up with them sort of the day or two after they trained together.
Yeah.
Nikolai's a little bit younger than me, sort of his mid to late 30s.
Yeah.
Ruud, this Olympic gold medalist, is 22 years old. He's obviously got like professional trainers. And yeah, I think he's starting to realize that this guy, Birk, is super, super fit. So he's going to have to go some to compete with him on fitness.
Fitness is such a big thing, especially in a what, let's say a standard chess boxing fight, because it's like 11 rounds normally, isn't it?
Yeah. It varies depending on the ability and experience, but 11 rounds is usually what it is.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, it's great. Thanks for coming on, Lawrence.
Appreciate it, my friends. Really, Thank you so much.
And appreciate everything you're doing for the sport in general. And I'll definitely be in touch after the show and maybe catch up with you then, see how it went, and we're interested to learn your take on it and what it's like to be a chess boxer.
Yeah, would love that. So looking forward to catching up after the fight.